Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ. Oh, welcome back. It is 9:15. A little bit of change right back here on this Thursday in downtown Alton. That's the 27th day of July. Natalie Steinacher, Strategic BJJ, celebrating 4 years. How are we doing?
We're doing wonderful. How are you?
Hanging in there. Is it hot already?
It is hot.
Yeah.
It is hot.
I got in here early just so I could kind of avoid it and get out of here maybe a little early.
Yeah, I heard your whole thing about it being 114, feeling like 114 later today.
Yeah. Stay inside.
Yes, please don't. Yeah.
You guys have AC, don't you?
We do. Yes. Yeah, we're not one of those, one of the old school jiu-jitsu places. Yeah, they won't have AC, and they're just like, you just tough through it. I guess it makes you tougher, but no, we have AC.
That was my wake-up call with pro wrestling, because they have the same mindset where it's like, no AC, no heat, you know? So
yeah, you're just tough.
Yeah.
And it's like, no.
I'm not tough, I'll be honest. With that being said, you guys celebrated 4 years this month?
4 years this month, yes.
Well, I love the post, because you guys are so busy. It was like, well, we should have posted this a little bit earlier, but how have the 4 years been?
They've been wonderful to see the growth and see the ability of people in the group grow and their skill set grow has been amazing. We have a few students that have been with us since the very beginning, and just to see where they started and where they are now it's almost like a proud mom moment,
right?
And then it's just been kind of cool because like within that first year we grew so much, we changed location like 4 different times.
Did you expect that?
We did not. Not at all.
To say, that's a good problem to have,
right,
I guess.
It was an amazing problem to have.
Now, where are you guys currently located?
We're at 2248 East Broadway.
Okay.
It's down from like Fast Eddie's and then the police station and like Dollar General and then us as you're going towards like East Alton.
Yeah, so kind of near where that old school district office was. And GB Grill and all that.
Yeah, we're down from GB Grill.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's what's cool, because your environment really is, I think what sets you apart from other gyms too, because everyone I've talked to says it's a family there, you know?
It is absolutely a family there. We try to fiercely protect our culture, which is we really believe that every skill set, every body type, every age can do this, and we'll modify it to whatever you need. Like my husband and I are not your typical jiu-jitsu players, is what they call them. I'm a bit of a heavier woman. I am short, so I have short limbs, and every move that you see that is just these fancy moves, if you look up on YouTube, I have to adapt to having short legs and short arms. My husband, he's a bigger guy, but you wouldn't, by looking at him, you wouldn't think he can move the way he does. He moves like an athlete, even though he's a bigger guy.
Right. I was going to ask you about that, though, because I've watched some of those, and I'm going, man, I don't know if I have the body type to do any of this.
You do. Every person with their body type has special assets that somebody else does not have. So if you can tap into those, your game is completely separate from anybody else's game, which means that they can predict what you're doing.
Right.
And you have that advantage.
Wow. Yeah, that's actually really cool.
It is really cool.
So set the table for us. So, take us through some of the things, classes that you guys offer over at Strategic, because there's quite a few different options.
There is. So on Mondays and Wednesdays, we have adult jiu-jitsu from 7 to 8, and we call that gi jiu-jitsu, which is the uniform. Your battle pajamas is what we call them. Is what we call them. Because you put them on, and it helps, and especially for me, I'm going to be 44 this year. And this is something that I want to do for life. So the gi helps you kind of slow it down and be more methodical with it. We have kids classes on Monday and Wednesday from 6 to 7, and that's typically between the ages of 6 and 13. When you get to that 13-year-old stage, they can actually kind of stay for adult classes too if they really want to put some extra work in, and they really feel that they're ready to do so. They can. Wow. On Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6, we have no-gi, which is basically your yoga workout wear, that kind of thing, and it's a lot faster because there's nothing to grab onto to slow someone down. So it's a lot more of a workout type of thing.
Like conditioning, too, on top of that.
And conditioning. Don't get me wrong, the gi is definitely a workout.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
But the no gi is more. And then we have from 7 to 8, we have kickboxing / MMA. John Rosner, who is a pro MMA fighter, is one of our coaches.
Wow.
And he actually goes through like your techniques and how to do that. And he also teaches the no gi as well, because that's both part of, like, if you watch an MMA match, they're striking, but they're also on the ground grappling.
Right.
So
well, a lot of those guys are Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu specialists. They really are.
Yeah, and John's been on Shamrock a couple of times, and it's really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and see, that's what I think is so cool is you guys really bring in all these components that really elevate yourselves over everyone else. And now, when you started, I got to ask you this: do you remember your first class?
I do. I was I was a baby deer in headlights. And that's what it is. It ends up that way, especially like that Tiny Tots class that we're getting ready to offer. And it's during the day. It's going to be on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. You pick the day that you want to come, and then you pick a half an hour time slot that the student wants to come, and it's for ages 3 to 5. And it's basically you're learning where your body is, your body mechanics. Like when I first started, if someone would have told me, take your right arm, grab their left collar, and grab their left leg, it did not look like I knew where my left and right was. Even though I was an adult, I did. It didn't look like that.
Right.
And kids are like that too. You know, you're like, hey, can you do a front roll? And they end up doing like a back roll sideways thing, you know, and it's because they just don't know yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I completely agree. And I think it's great because especially with this Tiny Tots, you know, and segueing into this, I think it's a great building block for a lot of athletics. So, you know, whether or not they want to do, you know, BJJ their entire life and really master it, great. You know, let's hope so. But perfect for, you know, starting that, you know, journey if they're going to be a soccer player, baseball player, football player. That's great to have.
It goes hand in hand with football, soccer, wrestling, all of the main high school sports that you see around here. These help with. It helps because the little Tiny Tots kind of transitions into our kids class. And our kids class does a lot of, you know, takedowns and how to, I guess, persevere in pressure situations, which mentally helps so much with some of the other sports that you see. But with wrestling, man, they go hand in hand. The main difference between jiu-jitsu and wrestling is that in jiu-jitsu you get comfortable on your back because you can be there. In wrestling you can't, because you get pinned. Well, but they go hand in hand.
I mean, honestly, you're absolutely right, because even what I do in pro wrestling, I mean, the first thing we did was learn every role that you can learn and learn how to do these tips. But and also you learn it just to keep yourself safe, just in case if you know how to get out of a hold if you don't know. And what I think is really important too is the balance aspect of things. Because I'll be honest with you guys, a gust of wind will put me on 70. I only weigh 40 pounds, and I have no balance. So I think it's such an important thing to teach the little ones is really finding, you know, that balance and finding out how to stretch the right way and making
stretch and fall. We do break falls, and I'm sure I figured you were familiar with it. It's where you learn how to fall so that you can distribute your weight.
Oh, I get you. Yeah. Bump.
Yeah. You guys it's called bump for you guys, but for us, we call it break fall, whether it's a reverse break fall or a front break fall or a forward break fall or sideways. And that's great in like bully situations. Like if they come up from in front of you and they start shoving you and they shove you down, if you fall just like a tree's been chopped over, you're going to break wrists, arms, all of that.
Hit
the back of your head. They learn how to tuck their head, put their arms out, slap the ground, and it like distributes all that energy that just happened, and they can pop right back up into what we call a technical stand-up, and be ready to address the situation. We're not, we address a lot in our kids' classes that, yes, if you have to defend yourself at school, you're going to be in trouble at school. Yeah. But in our household, when our kids had to defend themselves, they got ice cream on the way home.
That's right.
They took the consequences at school because, of course, the schools have to have those.
Right.
It's part of the school rules.
Right.
But in our house, because you defended yourself, you got ice cream on the way home.
Right.
You know?
Well, and that's how it always was with my parents, too. You don't start it, but if you got to defend yourself, you stand up for yourself and you move on. And I think it's great. And I think that's a great message to teach all the, you know, kids in your class, too, is, you know, you don't go out starting the aggression.
Don't start it. But at least defend yourself.
Right.
You know, you shouldn't have to take a bully just constant all the time,
Right,
riding on you all the time. There shouldn't be that.
No.
And so if you've got to do something, and you got to do the proper channels, tell an adult, and if it doesn't stop, tell someone else.
Right.
And if that doesn't stop, tell the principal. If that doesn't stop, then you might have to handle yourself.
Right.
How are you going to do that?
Exactly. And it's a huge point because, I think so many times just the confidence aspect of things really is detrimental, I think, in a lot of ways to, kids, because they go, well, maybe I'm a little bit smaller and I'm not going to be able to stick up for myself and they're scared. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you go and watch, some of your classes or any Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and you're going, it doesn't matter how big you are. You need to know the technique.
My husband is he's about 6'1". He weighs about 330 pounds. His first class was with a Logan Wayne, who's in Jerseyville, who's like 130 pounds soaking wet.
Right.
And Logan handed my husband a whooping.
Wow.
And it was this little guy who, against this big guy. And if you watch some jiu-jitsu matches, it doesn't matter the size. There's a whole thing in competitions called absolute, which you can randomly get someone who's small, someone who's big, and you win and you go against that person. So in our gym, we do the hobbyist, which is just there to have social time, have get a good workout in, and then we have our competitors who will compete at like IBJJF, which is like this huge international jiu-jitsu tournament, at Fuji BJJ, which is kind of all over the place. There's a new one called CX BJJ. They'll go to Chicago. I mean, if you're near Chicago, you can compete every single weekend. We have this whole thing of like medals in our gym from the students just coming in and putting their medals up. So if you can be a competitor, and we will absolutely foster that, or you can be a hobbyist, and we're totally okay with that too. Where you're at is where we're going to meet you. In your journey. We don't want to be that gym where they push only competitors advance. No. Even the hobbyist is a great training partner for the competitor. I completely agree with that, because I think we can all learn something from, everyone that we're kind of encountering, and no matter, which aspect of it. And I wanted to ask you, for your sake, how did you get involved in, was this ever in the pipeline for your vision path? Not really. What happened is I grew up with a little brother who, and we did a lot of wrestling, a lot of fighting, a lot of all of that. So I grew up around a bunch of guys, but, when I finally got with my husband and he started doing this, he would come home and start putting me in like these holes. And he's like, look what I learned today. He was so excited about it. And I was absolutely in love with the fact that my husband was in love with doing something other than video games, at the time. And then I was more curious. Well, I was like, well, how do you get out of this? Because you just put me in this. How do I get out of this?
Right.
And it just started kind of happening. And I was like, okay, well, I think I can do this. And it's not been a totally like successful journey for me, because at one point our children are now, Alex will be 19 and Sean's going to be 18 in April. We had littles at the time when he first started. So he's almost a black belt at this point, and I'm just a blue. So we both started almost at the same time. And had I been consistent with it, I'd have been where his level is. But we had littles, so I stopped and just kind of hung back for a while. But then when my husband, after changing the locations 4 times, he came to us and he's like, I think we need to buy a building, and I think we need to just go all in. And I was like, okay, all right, well, if you're going to go all in, I'll support you completely. And so I said, I'll come back, but you got to start me completely over. So I was a 3-stripe weight belt when I stopped, and we took the stripes off and started me completely over. And we're in our 4th year, but we're in our second or 2.5 years into the building we're in now.
Right.
And I'm a blue belt now.
Wow.
Finally. So we started me completely over again. Just because if my husband was going to go all in on it, I also needed to go all in.
Right. Oh, totally agree.
On it. And this journey has been amazing this time. Like the first time I was all about got to get to the next belt, got to get to the next belt, got to get to the next belt. This time I'm like, if I'm going to be a 20-year blue belt, I'm a 20-year blue belt. I am having so much fun. It is so cool when you've had a bad day or a hard day at work. You can go and you can get it all out on the mats. and nobody's mad, nobody's upset, I mean, you will hear me, if you come to our classes, you'll hear me giggle the entire time, especially if I get thrown. Like if I get thrown for something, you hear me, wee, as I'm going. So it's a lot of fun. It is so great for mental health. Oh my gosh.
That's what I was going to ask you too, because I've always, everyone I've talked to, so it changes you, and how your perception on things.
It absolutely does. It changes you. You make friends, and jiu-jitsu is the great social equalizer, which means that it doesn't matter your background. When you get on the mat, your skill set says it all. You could have like this person who, I mean, we've had officers come through. We have this whole Adopt a Cop program that where they pay, as long as they come a certain amount of days a week, that will pay for their membership to come in.
Wow.
We have a Rolling for Recovery program for veterans who need that extra support and that extra mental health, and that will pay for their membership to come in. So we have several things. We have a couple of scholarship things where some of our members have pulled together their money. So if someone can't afford to come in, we can pool from that for a little bit.
Wow.
We've just been doing so many.
Speaking of, I mean, you do a lot of great community things throughout the year, though. I mean,
we try.
I know in December, I think I reported on a story where you guys were out doing stuff with the kids again. I can't remember exactly what that was.
We had. It was called Grappling for Gifts. Yes. It was called Grappling for Gifts, and it helped a children's hospital that's here in Illinois. One of the black belts that comes down, his daughter had some major problems when she was born, and that's his way of giving back. And so we had it's Ryan Prouty from PAC in Peoria, but he came down and we had this huge seminar, and we got to donate all of that, every single bit of that, to help that children's hospital. So we have quite a bit of things that do stuff like that.
What is doing things like that, and whether or not it's for grappling for, gifts or any other avenue, what's that mean for you guys as, a family, as a brand, as, a community member, whenever you're able to say after, 4 years, we're able to contribute and do things like this?
We absolutely love the fact that we are able to give back.
Yeah.
Absolutely adore the fact that with all of that, we keep building a bigger and bigger family.
Right.
Because now, like, you can go anywhere and you're just like, we're part of TAC team is what our lineage is.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And we're part of TAC team. So any gym that's part of TAC team all across the country, we can go anywhere and find a TAC team gym and go train. But also the fact that when we call and we ask, like, hey, do you guys have a drop-in? Do you guys have open mat? All that kind of stuff. And just the fact that we're under who we're under, because like Kyle Watson is my husband's coach, who is Watson Martial Arts in St. Louis. Just that fact that they know you through somebody. We've never had a bad experience traveling anywhere with any gym, just at all. They're just welcoming. They're just like, come on in.
That's incredible.
So it's like this huge family. So even if you are you work and you travel for work, jiu-jitsu is wonderful for that, because you can go to any gym where you're at and just let them know who you're from, and they'll usually let you in. And you can train while you're traveling.
That's just incredible. We got to take a quick break, pay some bills. I'm going to ask you to stay by with me. 9:34 and a little bit of change. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back with Natalie and Strategic Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu right after this one in downtown Alton.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible. Covering auto, home, business, and life insurance, our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
For the biggest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in the Riverbend, visit AltonToyota.com or stop by their location on the Homer Adams Parkway in Alton. Winner of the prestigious President's Award, Mungan Burkhardt Alton Toyota knows how to treat their customers, and they will help you find the vehicle that is perfect for you. For years, Mungan Toyota has been a fixture in the Riverbend, and now Mungan Burkhardt carries the tradition. New name, but the same great service you've come to expect.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Lennox system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt, professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vent.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, Free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com. Oh, welcome back. 9:36 on this 27th day of July. It's a Thursday in downtown Alton. Strategic BJJ. Natalie in studio. Some upcoming classes this Saturday at 2 p.m. Take me through this. This is a woman's only.
Yeah, we're having Ann Neve come in. She's a black belt. And it's a register. You got to register ahead of time. There's still time to register if they want to. But it's a black belt seminar, gi seminar, and no gi seminar. So like uniform, non-uniform. Mm-hmm. And we got people coming in from everywhere. Like a couple of them are coming in all the way from Crystal City, Missouri.
Wow.
At their 10th Planet Place. It's kind of rare to get a black belt female in the sport. It's getting more and more.
It
lately,
seems like that, yeah.
But it's been fairly rare. And to have just a women-only focused seminar that's coming up is kind of hard to come by.
That's really, really incredible. And now how do you sign up for that?
You would just text or call our number. It's 618-328-3428.
There you go.
And you can just text or call, and we'll get you the sign up form.
Really cool. And I'm on your website too, strategicbjj.com, if you guys want to follow along at home or on the Facebook page. But take me through these women's self-defense classes. I think these are very important.
They are. So if there was a quote that was going around that if you've never been grabbed by somebody and manhandled,
right,
grabbed and or any kind of situation like that, the mental hurdle that you have to get over at first is astronomical and detrimental.
Gotcha.
You have to be able to react very quickly. So training jiu-jitsu, somebody's grabbing you all the time. So you automatically do that. So with women's self-defense classes, we go from non-violent to very violent, like de-escalation, like how to get out of the situation, how to not make yourself an easy target. Unfortunately, in a perfect world, women could wear whatever they wanted, go wherever they wanted, and not have to worry about anything. Mm-hmm. But we're in the real world, and unfortunately, we've got to be on alert no matter what we're wearing at this point. So you have to kind of be on alert. So with that, we go through, get you comfortable with close combat. We get you comfortable with de-escalation. We get you comfortable with creating space. We get you comfortable with making a scene. You would not believe how many women just go quiet when something like that happens. Yes, they don't. They just freak and go quiet. And then the perpetrator takes the quietness as permission.
I gotcha.
Yeah. And I want them to absolutely go feral.
Yeah.
I want them to make a scene.
Well, hell yeah.
I would rather someone have to apologize for being the biggest B word in the world than be wrong and be hurt.
Right.
I would rather you have to apologize later and be like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean, you just kind of scared me a little bit, you know, or you don't have to come back and do that instead of be wrong and be harmed, be kidnapped, be scared. There's no reason for that. So we kind of go through that, and then we go all the way up to being violent. So the slogan of mine in particular is make space, cause a scene, and then choose violence if you need to.
Yeah.
And so that's what we do. So we teach how to make space, how to get away, how to stand, how to do that. Because sometimes it doesn't have to go to violence. A lot of times, the second you start fighting back, they consider you a hard target. And it's not going how they thought it was going to go in their twisted fantasy in their head. So then they they leave.
They try to find the next
easy target. So we try to teach you how to not be an easy target. And then we teach you how to make a scene and what to say, because unfortunately nowadays, if you're screaming help, they're going to assume it's the domestic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we need you to scream something else. Like fire gets their attention really quickly. This is not my spouse. This is not my husband. This is not my partner. This is not, I don't know this person. That gets attention real quick. But help does not. Even with little kids, when we're teaching self-defense for little kids, we teach them to yell fire. This is not my mom. This is not my dad. This is not all of that kind of thing. Because if you hear a kid screaming in Walmart, what's your first assumption?
I ignore it.
Yeah.
But if you
heard one screaming, this is not my mom, this is not my dad, different situation.
Complete different. And that makes total sense to me now that you say that, because there's so many times you hear maybe a couple arguing or whatever, and that's the husband and wife. It makes total sense.
Yeah, you can't scream help. You've got to scream something else.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
And now, how do people? When do you do these classes for the women?
For women, it's anytime.
Wow.
Yeah, anytime. I work with them, flexible timing. They can come to us. I can come to them. I will go to your office, your space, your church, your whatever it is, and we will utilize that space. You don't need any special equipment, nothing. We'll use whatever is available. Now, if you want to know how to do the throws and stuff, then you'd have to come to us because it's padded and all of that, because we need to teach you how to do it correctly.
Right.
Because on the concrete, that's not going to be comfortable. And we tell them that too. Yeah. Like out in the streets, this is going to hurt, but it's better to be bruised and scratched than dead.
Exactly.
So,
and even going through anything, worse. And I'm right there with you.
Yeah. And we talk about the second location. Don't ever let them take you to the second location. And even if there's a gun, shoot me here.
Yep.
Even if they're threatening your children, shoot me here. Because if they're willing to be creepy in front of everyone, what do you think is waiting on you on the second location?
Nothing good.
Nothing good.
Exactly.
So we address all of those things. Yeah. And it's groups of 10 less than 10 is $35 a person. It's about a 2.5 hour session.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's not bad. And then
I'm not going to lie, I thought we were going to get like a half hour out of that.
No,
That's
it's 2.5 hours. Yeah.
Wow.
And then groups of 10 or more, it's 25 a person. So, and it's 2.5 hour session. And we utilize, so again, it's, you just call us, text us, and I come to you, you come to us. It's whatever you want to do. It's great for a girls' night out. It really is. It really is. We did one at Morrison's recently with Mary and Katie and all of them, and it was so much fun. Those ladies got into it. They were shoving me up against walls. They were doing all sorts of stuff. It was really fun.
And let's circle back to this Tiny Tots class too. If you could overview this for us, break it down for us, because I think this is a great opportunity for the littles too.
Yes. So 3 to 5, they have to be potty trained, because that
makes total sense.
You've got to be able to go to the bathroom, but the parents can hang out in the other room on the other mat while they're there. It's 30 minutes. It's really quick, but it'll be like some obstacle stuff. They're going to be learning how to fall. They're going to be learning how to do a technical stand-up. There's really not going to be much like grappling and sparring. We're just getting them used to moving their bodies, the body mechanics aspect of it. And some bear crawls and crab walks and front rolls and back rolls. It's a little bit of tumbling. It's a little bit of all of this stuff. And then we're going to go through it, and then we'll have some games and stuff. It's just 30 minutes of basically trying to get them to move their bodies so that they learn, when I say front roll, they don't do a back roll.
Right.
If I say, put your left leg out, it's not their right leg, that kind of thing. And it's 1 day a week for the month of September. And we're going to have it again in October. They would just need to sign up again. It's $40 for 1 day a week, 30 minutes. And you just pick. So it's Tuesday and Wednesday, and we have 11 to 11:30 a.m., 11:45 to 12:15, and 12:30 to 1.
Wow, that's actually perfect for the parents that have, especially in September when the bigger kids are back to school.
Are back to school.
There you go.
Yeah.
You got to you got an afternoon free, and then that's perfect.
Absolutely, yeah.
I love it. And seriously, celebrating 4 years is not easy, an easy feat. And I have no doubt that you're going to be here for another 4 years, to say the least.
I hope so. I hope we're here I want to do this till I'm 90-something years old.
Right
I want to be jiu-jitsu grandma.
With that being said, is there anything else that you need to fill our audience in on today?
No, just our phone number. Just
please do.
It's 618-328-3428, and just text or call, and we'll give them whatever information they need.
Well, I really appreciate you stopping by today. And seriously, I think everything you guys are doing is great.
Yeah.
And just keep up the great work and keep helping train everybody in town.
We're trying.
With that being said, before we take a quick break, a little bit of business. Let me fill you in on I Love the 90s coming to Alton Amphitheater on August the 4th. The doors open at 6 p.m. Headliners at 8 p.m. because we're going to kick it with Vanilla Ice. Natalie has seen this show before.
I have. It is amazing.
Is it really fun?
Yes. We were literally out of our seats for 3 hours. We did not stop dancing for 3 hours.
Really?
Yeah, they brought on like Montel Jordan and Tone Loc and Vanilla Ice. Vanilla Ice has a special guest during some of his features, so just telling you that now.
I'm telling you what.
That like brought me right back to my childhood. It was amazing. I'm a 90s kid, 90s teen, and it was absolutely like my face hurt from smiling so much. Yeah, it was amazing.
And by the way, that wasn't scripted. Talk about an endorsement right there. I don't need to say anything else. Just go to altonamphitheater.com or to go to metrotix.com to get your tickets now. VIP is pretty much all sold out. It's pretty much all but gone. But general admission's still there, and so is reserved. So get your tickets, metrotix.com, or go to Alton Riverfront Amphitheater for the Jazz and Wine Fest information, Food Truck Festival, the Alton Expo, Earth Tones Festival. I'm running out of breath. So for more information, altonriverfrontamphitheater.com. That's altonriverfrontamphitheater.com. And next Friday, you and I, we're kicking it because we love the 90s.